time for the 8th running of the Mazda MX-5 Cup Benelux. Welcome everyone to your live coverage for this season. My name, Chris McCarthy. A pleasure to have your company. Mazda MX-5s, some of our favourites racing in this sport, and what a calendar we have ahead of us as well. You can see we'll be going to Zandvoort, Solda, Assen, the Nürburgring, where we'll be supporting the GT World Challenge Europe, and back to Zandvoort and Assen again. That Nürburgring edition, very excited, a new addition to the calendar, and supporting GT World Challenge for the first time since 2019. But we begin here at Zandvoort. Lovely circuit. This going to be more of a demanding circuit than some of the others for the drivers, but that won't mean we will be short of overtaking. There's big overtaking opportunities at Tarzan, turn 1, and then down at turn 11 as well. However, in this first qualifying session of the season, they are going to be faced with a circuit that has been wet. So that is going to be a challenge for the drivers as they come out. They will have qualifying for the first race and races 2 and 3. So we've got this qualifying session quite pivotal for the weekend, and the drivers just making themselves line up in the pit lane now before we get ready to go racing. We've had practice already earlier today, and it was just looking at the results, it was a Walter Janssen who was fastest in that one. So Janssen was also second in the first free practice session yesterday as well, did a 154.014. So that is the going to be one of the drivers to watch. 19 drivers out there in total ready for a brand new season. I'm sure that could be an entry list that is added to as we go through. The marshals out there, we couldn't go racing without them. Always do a superb job, and plenty of people around the circuit ready to watch the Mazdas go out onto the circuit. This the qualifying, but then after that we will make our way into races going on later. Just making their way down to pit lane now. It's the start of our season, and great to have your company. Alpha Live bringing you the live pictures for this season, a new addition for the championship, but so great to have live pictures brought to you in the Mazda MX-5 Championship, and this our one and only qualifying session of the weekend. Looks like we're all almost set and ready to go in terms of qualifying. It's going to be 20 minutes in total. With that rain having come by, it could be a case of a developing track as we go through. One that will see the times come down and down, and in sessions like that, it always could come down to the last to cross the line takes pole position. So that could be a thing to watch out for in this one. Looking forward to being part of this, I have to say. It's a really exciting thing to be a part of, but love watching Mazda MX-5s. They always do put on a great show everywhere they go, don't they? They make their way to places like Daytona for the 24-hour over there, and we've had some superb racing over there. Got the famous Mazda MX-5 championship over in the States, but then lots of Mazda championships around the rest of Europe as well. This just being one of them, and one that is growing all the time. This now the 8th running of this championship. Drivers just getting ready to go down in pit lane, waiting for that green flag, which is gone now. The green light is on, so we are officially underway for the 2026 season in the Mazda MX-5 Cup, sponsored by Hankook, and this is the qualifying session that will set the grids for the races this weekend. Let's go through the list of drivers then for you. In the number 1 car, defending champion Marcel Dekker, In the number 3, it will be Mats van Bruggen next along. Ivan Lemarenko is in the number 5. Noah Maton is in the number 7. Jaden Gruchans is in the number 8. Henry Veit Jr. is in the number 11. Then we have Xavier van der Schoot, Matt Stevai, and then alongside that, Luke Vijk, Chris Schutert, and then we have Mihalo Cohen in the 27. Delano Dicatel is in the 32. Wouter Janssen, who was very quick, is in the 34. Serhii Volubiev is in the 44. Jim Back in the 54. Christian Decline is in the 69. Nico Lanalati is in the 72. Stein here is in the 96. And then Jack de Kock is in the 111. So those are all the competitors out there, all 19 of them. The track is drying. I'm here now. It's made its way to almost a dry circuit, so it looks like we'll have, I'm sure, some slick tyres going on, if they're not on already, throughout this session. If the drivers haven't already gone out with them, then I'm certain that they'll make a quick switch to them. It's just going to be a case of avoiding those wet patches around the circuit as well. It can still catch you out very easily, and things like taking too much curb can definitely lead drivers to take a spin as well. What you don't want to do in this qualifying session is find yourself off and into the gravel early on. You want to get a couple of banker laps in first, and then you can start to take some risks, so to speak. I think doing any of that will come much later in the session for these drivers. Round the final corner, you can just see drivers coming over the line now. Marcel Decker is already over there, and the first laps will start to come in very shortly. Looking at the times from free practice, just times are around 1:53 was the quickest lap in both free practice 1 yesterday and free practice 2 today. So that gives us a bit of a base mark to work from. They did get out there, the Mazdas, before it started to really rain this morning, so did manage to get a session in. So anywhere near the 1:53 mark, and you could be on for a very good result here. Down the hill and make their way up again. We're just tracking the 95 car, looks to be Stein here for Ferry Monster Motorsport, but sadly we're gone full course yellow as well. One thing I did just say is you do not want to make a mistake and find yourself off into the gravel, and I'm going to assume someone's done just that. So full course yellow around, and that is a warning sign to everyone out there on circuit as well that it's still drying out there and there is still wet conditions around. We'll find out very shortly exactly who that is that's gone off. I'm just tracking to see if anyone's not come through a sector that should have done. But a full course yellow doesn't it always mean that there's a car off the circuit? It could be for other reasons by race control that they've felt the need to go full course yellow, like debris on the circuit or so on. So that could be another reason that has led to this full course yellow, but it does take time away from the drivers. It's not a long session as it is, and now they'll have just a little bit less time as we are back green. 15 minutes and 40 seconds to go. No times in just yet, and these times won't be of any note, so we're going to wait for another couple of minutes and then we'll know exactly who is where in the provisional standings. Across the line comes Noah Maton and Wouter Janssen. Wouter Janssen very quick earlier. The number 34 car is on your screen now, just coming through Tarzan and up towards turns 2 and 3. You see these Mazdas can take a lot of speed around this circuit into 2. Now you've got to get over to the left-hand side of your picture there to line up Hugenholtz corner, and then it is full gas all the way up to turn 7. We come down here through 4, left into 5, and then they'll be carrying a huge amount of speed over the hill at turn 6, and then it will be hard on the anchors to go into turn 7, which is a corner that can catch a lot of drivers out and is a particular dangerous one in terms of having incidents come the races, because drivers like to go side by side through here, and will quickly run out of room. Down through 7, and then it's a big climb uphill. You can't even see turn 7 on your picture. Big climb uphill to turn 8, and then they make their way through into 9. Wide circuit, widest part of the circuit. They've got to get back over the circuit to open up turn 10. Don't run too wide on the exit here. You can see the gravel trap is immediately after that runoff curve ends, and now this is going to be one of the biggest overtaking spots of the weekend. Down at turn 11 on the curb there, help you round. Same again through turn 12 as well, just like we see Marcel Decker do there. You can see how settled he looks immediately on this first flying lap, carrying so much speed through 11 and 12, and that is why he is the reigning champion. Then it's uphill into 13 and 14, steep banking through here, flat out all the way around, and then comes to run down to the start finish line. And one thing some of the drivers are doing is just getting a nice toe. Mazdas are one of the categories where you'll see bump drafting, that along with karting, for example. It's one of the rare categories where drivers will actually help each other around the circuit, and getting a toe can be quite pivotal to getting a good lap in qualifying. But first laps are in, and it's Wouter Janssen, 154.4, so a very good time to work from there. Delano de Gattel is in second. Noah Maton is the lead rookie driver in third place, and then we have Stein here, Chris Schutert, Xavier de Schut. That is just changed now. It's Luke Weich who has made his way up into P6. 154.4, but look how close it is for Janssen. He's got Gattel and Maton right behind him there, less than 1/10 of a second. So let's keep an eye on those sector times. Gattel is done a 39.1 through the first sector. Janssen 39.2. Noah Maton though is the fastest with a 38.9. So going along very well, but loses a bit of time through the second sector. Does the number 7 car. There's the 34 car, provisional pole position of Wouter Janssen. Maton just behind in that number 7. One to watch. These drivers first and third at the moment as they head round the banking now and up towards the start finish line. Are we going to see any improvements here from either driver? Up to the line we go now, and Janssen does improve, but not as much as Noah Maton, who has just taken provisional pole position in the number 7, second in queue here, a 153.8. So we are now into the 53s. Stein here has just come across the line as well, P4 currently, but there is improvements from Van der Schut and Marcel Decker as well. We've got to keep an eye on Marcel Decker, currently down in, let's have a look where that is. That's 7th place for Marcel Decker, and will really want to try and come up the order. Would be a disappointing result for Decker if he finishes this one down in 7th place. Around turn 7 and 8, you can hear just how much speed these cars can carry. It's a category where it's all about exit speed and trying to get a bit of a toe as well. So into a corner like this is where time can really be made. You've got to try and roll the car through as quickly as possible and out again, so you're straight back up to speed. This is Noah Maton, who is provisional pole sitter. Let's check back in a little bit further back. Then we've got the 8 and the 9 car. Jaden Gruchens is the number 9, and then just ahead of that we had the might have been the number 7 car actually, who was just ahead. Jaden Gruchens definitely there. Down through 11 and 12 we go. Here's the number 19 we take a look at, which is Mats de Vij. Someone just getting out the way there to allow cars to go through. Wondered if that was Marcel Decker actually. I think it might have been in the green and white livery it was, so he's just trying to give himself some place as Gattel goes to Pole position now in the number 32. Is that going to be challenged by these drivers here? We've got Shoot It here, Van der Shoot as well, and it is Shoot It who goes to second place to put himself on the front row of the grid as the number 26. So a really good time there to get himself up the order. Going to be keeping an eye on Marcel Dekker on this lap though, because he's just given himself some space and is now really going to go for it on this lap. Has targets to catch ahead as well. So it's currently Cattell, Shoot It, Maton, Janssen here, Van der Shoot, Vijk has just gone up to P6. And then we have Vijk Jr. next along, Marcel Dekker, Christian Decline is in P10. Down through 7, 8 into turn 9, they will make their way now in this queue of cars all together, all trying to get a tow from each other. Going alone in this category is a lot more difficult. It's better to work with drivers, and it looks like Marcel Dekker is closing in on this pack now. Let's have a look at the sector times. It's 39.2 from Dekker. Vijk Jr. has done a 39.1. Van der Shoot has done 39.1 as well. So we've got Vijk Jr. who's looking very quick on this lap. Marcel Dekker, look at that, down the inside in that green and white livery. So that's going to affect his time overall, but had to make the move. And that, I think he's even pointing in the car there to say, just work with me here to the 111, which is Jack de Kock, who's all the way down in 15th place. And that was the reigning champion there, just advising Jack de Kock to follow him along and get a tow from him. With that, Marcel Dekker does not improve from 9th place. De Gattel is in the pit lane, and Stein here has now gone into the pit lane as well with P5. So it's Gattel, Shoot It, Maton, and then we have Janssen here, Vijk, Van der Shoot, Vijk Jr., Marcel Dekker, Christian Decline is then in 10th place. Is there any improvers on this lap? We'll find out. No real changes. Vijk Jr. went up to 7th, and that was the only change. We also had Cohan go up to 15th as well. 2 changes on the last lap. What about through this one? Are we going to see any improvements through the first sector? No, I think we may see a couple of others visit pit lane. It looks like some drivers just starting to back off now. As we have, in fact, as I say that, Decline has just gone purple through the first sector. 38.9 is Decline in the 69 car. There we see the 16 car currently on screen. But the 69 car it is. Christian Decline going along very well. The 16 is Van der Shoot in the top 10. Goes through your picture now. Downhill we come. Are we going to see any changes here from Christian Klein? Can he take advantage of doing a very good first sector? Wait to see him through the second sector. We've got Jim back also improving as well. And now around the final corner we go. Looks like we could start to see some changes from this pack here coming through. One driver just peeling off to the right hand side of the circuit there to come into pit lane. As for the rest, let's find out. No real improvements. There's the number 9 car in that pack as well, which is Dradan Guchens, who is currently down in 18th place. We'll want to make an improvement there. It looks like Decline did improve as he came over the line, but to P9, so Marcel Dekker is now in P10. We've got some drivers just coming in for a bit of a cool down. A adjustment of the tyre pressures. Whoa, where's a 21 car went straight on there. I thought a Vijk that was going to go straight off into the grass and into the gravel, but managed to recover. That's a lap lost though in this qualifying session. Vijk Jr. just goes through, shot there. Next along, Mats van Ruyen we have. Downhill now through 7 and 8. We're watching this pack of drivers. With a new season comes new livery sometimes, so just doing my best to keep an eye on who's who in this qualifying session. It is a very close one indeed. You can see the number 3 car there in picture, which is Van Ruyen, and 3 of those cars looking identical, which isn't going to make our jobs any easier, is it? But I'll do my best for you. Round turn 10 and down to turn 11. Some of the cars in the pit lane appear to be leaving now. That includes Noah Maton, who is currently the lead rookie. And Luke Valk, second of the rookies, and Valk Jr. Is third of the rookies. So they're having a good session, Luke and Henrik so far. So some drivers in the pit lane and coming back out. We'll keep an eye on their times over this last 3.5 minutes, one being Noah Maton, who has now come out as lead rookie. Van der Schoot is in the pit lane. Stein here is in the pit lane. Chris Schutert as well. Gruchans has improved slightly and gone up a place a little bit further down. But as for this pack of cars, no real improvement yet. We've seen Marcel Dekker go back into the top 10, but Marcel not currently putting in the performance he would have wanted to. Didn't do much of yesterday's practice session, did Marcel, who was out there this morning. Down the hill we go, and up again. This is the number 21 car we are watching now of Luke Valk, who is doing a really good job. Second of the rookies so far. Noah Maton currently leads that category. And Henk Valk Jr. is also right there as well. Following each other around are the 2 Valk drivers. Let's pick up someone else then. This is Jack de Kock, who we saw earlier being passed by Marcel Dekker. Not too sure if all these drivers have maybe got the best out of what they're going to do in this session. It's still close at the top. You can see Schutert only needs to find a bit more, but I think Schutert is happy with how things have gone in this qualifying session and is going to remain in pit lane. Stein here is in 5th place. There is the 72 going through. Lanolati. Into the final 90 seconds we go now, just monitoring the sector times, and can't see that there's going to be any major improvements so far. So it looks like Cattell could be on to take pole position ahead of Schutert and Maton. As I say that, it looks like we've just had an improvement come in from Christian Decline in the 69. So a good improvement there from Decline. And there he is. He's leading this queue here just ahead of the 21. So had a good tow around last time, I believe, from Valk. Good target to chase. And Decline is now going to be the one doing the leading. But can Decline get any further up the order? He's only half a second off of Cattell, who is currently in pole position. This qualifying session goes by very quickly in the Mazdas. It is the only one of the weekend as well, before we head into the 25-minute races that we will have. Standing starts for the Mazda MX-5s as well, so plenty of ground to be made. And you can just see by how closely all the drivers are following each other. We're going to have a very close race later. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We're going to have a lot of overtaking, a lot of slipstreaming with each other, and I'm really looking forward to it. As long as you're up there in the top 3 rows, I'd say you've got a good chance here, because there's going to be a huge amount of overtaking. That looked like Luke Valk, I think I was just pulling over. Indeed it was. And I think Valk Jr. behind is just doing the same thing as well. Checkered flag is out, so everyone who crosses the line now, it will be their last attempt to try and take pole position. I don't see any huge improvements out there that would be making Delano De Kettel nervous out front, who is currently watching the remainder of this session in pit lane. Round the final corner, up to the line we go. Will we see any final improvements from Luke Valk or Henk Valk Jr.? No, we won't. So they remain 7th and 8th right together in Valk row 4, which is going to be an exciting thing to watch. So that is that for qualifying. Doesn't look like anyone else got Noah Maton, in fact, so let's keep an eye on Noah Maton. 39.3 through the first sector is not faster than what Maton did. Was late out of pit lane in terms of rejoining the circuit, though. But Wouter Janssen just giving us a wave. He appears to be happy with how he's gone. Let's keep an eye on Maton. 40.4 through the second sector it is. Perhaps still one to watch. I'm not sure if it will challenge the two ahead, but he only needs to find 2.5 tenths of a second. As Wouter Janssen just showing that he is pretty much happy with how that one has gone. Maton is about to take the checkered flag now. 3rd place currently. Round the final corner, he goes up to the line now. Will there be an improvement? No, he will stay in 3rd place. So that will be that then for the Mazda MX-5 Cup qualifying session. The only one of the weekend. 3 races to come up for you. Delano De Kettel is going to be on pole position. We've got Chris Schutert in 2nd, Noah Maton in 3rd, Christian de Kleen is in 4th, Wouter Janssen 5th, Stein here is in 6th place, Luke Valk 7th, Henk Valk Jr. in 8th, and Javier Schut, Marcel Decker, one to watch, P10. Nico Lanlati is 11th, Mats Ruyen is in 12th, Jim Back next along, and then we have Mats Vai in 14th, Serhii Belubiev in 15th place, Mihalo Cohen next along, Jack Gok is next, and it's Jaden Gruchans and Ivan Yeremenko in 19th place rounds out the field. And that is going to be that for Mazdas. Don't worry, they will be out again later today. They're going to have race 1 of the weekend coming up at 5:25 local time, which will conclude things here for the day at Zandvoort. In between that, Supercar Challenge Race 2 is on at 4:05, so about an hour's break now in terms of our live coverage before we come back to bring you Supercar Challenge Race 2 and then the Mazda MX-5 Cup Benelux Race 1. And if you watch Supercar Challenge, you will see that was a very close race. So come back for Race 2. And Mazdas, well, I think that qualifying just showed us that there's going to be a lot of overtaking, a lot of slipstreaming, huge battles, and it could be a race. Judging by those results in qualifying, 800ths between the top 2, half a second between the top 6, 1 second between the top 10. I think judging by that, we're going to have a very, very close battle and a race that could go all the way to that line across the track in front of you, the start-finish line, and the checkered flag being waved from the box there. It's going to be a really exciting one, I'm sure. Love Mazda MX-5 Cups. I have to say it's been really exciting to be asked to be part of this coverage this season, which is brought to you by Alpha Live, the V-Max Racing Events team, doing a great job to get the live coverage on and in both Dutch and English languages as well. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for throughout the weekend in Mazda MX-5. And even if you're not cheering for anyone, let us know your predictions, the things you love most about this category of racing. Would love to hear it. Well, here we go, Mazda MX-5's highlights. Lots of drivers filing straight out the pit lane in what was a damp circuit in places, but Wouter Janssen, just as he was in practice, was leading the way. The track would quickly then begin to dry. No one really caught out by the conditions in terms of going off into the gravel. No red flags. It was a fully clean session. We had Luke Valk and Henk Valk Jr. working together with each other. Marcel Dekker in the green and white here was caught in a lot of traffic in that session, and in the end was having to say to Trading Bruchins, can you please follow me? Others would watch from the pit lane, one of those being Chris Schutert and Delano de Catel, as they watched to find out if any of the other drivers would challenge their times, although we saw very close fights between the lower order of the top 10 and just outside it as well. Some drivers really close together. They wouldn't quite find what they needed to go and take away pole position from Delano de Catel, but top 3-row start is all you need eventually. The 69 just pulling over there. Christian Decline, who made a improvement right at the end, was happy with his performance. He wouldn't take the checkered flag, but Delano de Catel would take pole position, and that's our grid set as we go into the races this weekend. Mazda MX-5 Cup Benelux will be back for race 1 at 25 past 5 local time. It will be the last of the action we have here at Zandvoort for today, and then they'll be out tomorrow. Race 2 tomorrow will be at 10 o'clock local time, and race 3 will be tomorrow at 45 minutes past 3. All 25 minutes, all standing starts. It's going to be great fun. Really is. Lots of racing to do. We've got some sprint races and main races as well. Okay, that is all from myself, Chris McCarthy. Do join us later at 25 past 5 for race 1. We'll see you then. Dat wordt later gereden. Voor nu is een hele kleine binnenkomst en toch later